Episode 93 of the Pentagon Challenge takes place just 4 days after our historic victory over England by the single goal scored by defender Eric Bailly. Now we have the small matter of Brazil to try and beat to reach a World Cup semi-final, and that is the stuff of pure fantasy, even though this is a very remarkable video game, and this is one of the reasons why I love playing it, to make these fantastical simulations come to light, and for you guys to watch them with me. And Brazil will be certainly pegged back by fatigue, just like England were, but because they managed to comprehensively win their last game against France, I'd say morale is extremely high. So we'll just take a look at that squad again for you. They've lost a centre-back through injury, which is a terrifying shame for them. It's a groin strain, so that's probably the end of his tournament. But these players like Gabigol, Barbosa, they have Edson up front there, Malcolm for Manchester City, Pereira, and then of course my former ally Alexandre playing dutifully on the bench. He's made a few appearances for his national team in this tournament, but only from the bench, and we'll see if he has a reason to play today. But these guys, they do look reasonably healthy. They're only like 88% tired, 86, and probably a few 90s, like Pereira, he's on a 90. So I'd say these guys would be the firm favourites, but I've done my best to try and come to terms with the injury to Moussa Kone in the last game. Pierre Zebli, who has scored for me on 2 separate occasions, first against Bosnia, then against Saudi Arabia. He has earned the right to start today's game as an advanced forward, but the rest of the players get to keep their places. But I am of course wary of Jonathan Tah and Eric Bailly especially. They are fatigued once more, but they'll have to fight it as best they can if they want to make absolute history and reach a semi-final of a World Cup. But I have noticed that Cameroon actually made it all the way to World Cup final in 2018, but they were defeated by Argentina. So if we want to mimic them, we're going to have to win this game, and however we're going to do it, we'll have to make it count and push Brazil to their limits. We'll see what kind of team they play. I doubt they'll make too many changes, but their formation should be a counter to ours, with the attacking midfielder instead of a defensive midfielder. And yes, I am proven correct. They have a change strip. Their blue away kit will be on show today, but they have played the exact team that I presume played in the last game, save for the injury to William. And of course Alexandre, number 8, we'll have to keep an eye out on him, see if he plays a part. But Gabriel Barbosa is probably the star man, and he has to settle for the bench. And every other player seemed to have recovered pretty nicely from the last game. We'll just have to take the rough with the smooth and see what happens. So mark up these guys just like we did, same as England, but we might go for Pereira as well. He should be, sorry, I think something went wrong there. He will be very visible threat, and we'll just take care of him. But I think Maya prefers to win the ball in midfield. Yeah, he does. He seems to be a Bayern Munich holding midfielder type, but we'll see. Well, we can, we'll see what we can do here in Montreal. Another stadium for us to tour, but this one will have plenty of meaning. We have failed to concede a goal against England, Mexico and Romania. That's no mean feat, but I fully expect a Brazilian onslaught in this quarter-final tie. But we have to keep going. The fans are no doubt craving to see this team maximise its potential, and the Ivory Coast will have seen nothing like this before, and it may convince me to stay for the longer term and try and win a trophy with them in Africa. But if we have to lose here today, there's absolutely no shame in it. But I want to see another performance for all time. We want the World Cup archivers in this universe to look back at 2026 and say, dang, those Ivory Coast guys were decent. So let's prove it to them again against the greatest of all time. And this is the kick-off. Marquinhos straight away to Malcolm. You can compare that to Raheem Sterling if you like. He made a mess of his opening kick. But here is an early Brazilian chance. We have to defend this. It's Malcolm getting a second bite and he wins a corner. So it looks like we're not going to have it easy like we did in the first 10 minutes against England in the last 16. So here's Pereira on the edge. Malcolm again. Karamoko tackles nearly a mistake, costing Ivory Coast very dearly there. But their possession is remarkable at the minute. Nearly 4 minutes on the clock and they're still in the high 80s. And there's a goal. Brazil take a very early lead, and that is a devastating blow to Ivory Coast. They have to come from behind for the first time in this tournament. We scored first in every game prior, and we're going to have to find the weakness in Brazil to try and get back into the game. But remarkably, Edson goes up to the other end of the pitch and makes it 2, and this might be curtains. Ivory Coast have not responded well to the pressure. We have to just defend until half time. This is a cruel blow, and I can't say I'm too happy about it. They've just gone straight back up their end and scored twice. So I think Brazil are just too good. Simple as that. And my cat has arrived on the scene to see this humiliation unfold. Edson has been denied. That would have been a fantastic third goal. Gunogori does his best, and Brazil will recharge the batteries and go for another attack. But we'll have to show some passion, get a shot on target at the very least. This is desperately unfortunate, but Ivory Coast are made of better stuff than this. And here we go, Jonathan Tah to Keita. Here's Cisse on the edge. Can you buy a penalty? No, he can't. Keita gets our first shot, but it's sailed over the crossbar. I'm happy with what I've seen. We just cannot give up at this stage. We're giving away tons and tons of fouls. Brazil haven't even given away one, which is ominous. And they have been by far the better team. And we'll have to come up with a piece of genius to even get one goal back. But here's Karamoko to Torre. Cisse! Oh, we had time to take a touch, but he shot and it went well wide into the Brazilian faithful. So we'll have to say I'm not at all impressed. That was what I did not want to see. The response to the first goal was disappointing, and we'll just have to turn that around somehow. But I can understand these guys have been giving it their best all tournament long, and maybe they've seen just too much, and we'll have to say goodbye to the World Cup at this stage. But let's try and avoid a red card or something like that. That would be ideal. We'll turn that off, and make it more expressive and flexible. So we'll see how that goes, but I expect Brazil to comfortably win it from here unless complacency sets in, and I really hope we do get a goal, just to say thank you to our fans for travelling all around Canada, taking in what was an amazing tournament for the Elephants. But there is an attack already for Brazil, and they nearly make it count. We'll have to avoid the red card for Karamoko. Ngueba finds Maya. He has a lot of time and space, and he finds an easy pass for Malcolm. Jorge Pereira back to Maya. You can see the closing down is poor, and Ivory Coast nearly give away the third goal inside the first 5 minutes of the second half. But now we'll just have to demand more. Push, push, push. Do your best. But Nieto, and there's an easy pass to Maya, Edson and Jorge. Malcolm, good clearance, but again Brazil are in control. Ngueba to Edson, that's a stroll, gets past the defender and wins a corner. Malcolm to Keita, that's another set piece, takes it with his left again, and it's cleared to Marquinhos, and he goes straight down the line to Malcolm, but he didn't return to his position in time. But now it is all about the Selecao. They are absolutely dominant at the minute. The crushing play, it's non-stop. and that's Karamoka winning the tackle but losing out to a corner, cleared by Bally, and we can try again. That's headed wide by the Brazilian, and we'll have to make changes. And there's Alexandre. I just knew it. He was going to haunt me after having been my fantastic player over the years with Vasco da Gama. So we'll have to make some changes, and we'll try and give some new guys a chance. I think Johan Boli for Keita. He's had a poor game, and Boli, we just make him the Ram Doter. We might bring on Hervé de Rue. He can play for Gunokore. I think he deserves a rest after all his effort for his country, and we'll make him, we'll keep him like that. And then Zebli, the experiment hasn't worked, so we'll play Stefane Bamba as well. So it doesn't really matter what happens from here. We'll just try and score a goal, and if we concede again, then it's definitely the end of our World Cup dreams. But yeah, I'd make 3 changes. Rare that I do that, especially so soon, but we just need a shot on target, as this is the problem with the Ivory Coast. They have quality in every position, but compared to the likes of Brazil, it's hopeless. Jorge into Malcolm, and Alexandre, could he break my heart? No, thankfully not, but he can try again. Oh, it's gone behind Jorge now for a throw in, but I will mark up Alexandre immediately. I'll go soft on him because I am a little sentimental, but apart from that we will mark him up entirely. There we go. Brazil 11 shots, 5 on target. They bring on their remaining subs to respond to ours, and Xavi is an attacking minded player, and he just shoots wide, so he'll have to be marked up as well. So the rhythm of this game is ruined, as Xavi is raring to go in this contest, like so. And then their other change is a left back, so we'll just close him down, but I'd say he'd be roaming forward nearly every opportunity. So we're going to push forward, try and grab a goal. It's been an embarrassment in terms of not getting a shot on target, but that sort of thing happens in World Cup football, and we'll just have to grin and bear it. Karamoko gets down well to save for a corner with the slide tackle. Sayoba is able to save that one, and he might announce his international retirement after this tournament, but that's just the way it's gone, unfortunately. And maybe I should have taken off a centre back just to spare them, but their World Cup dreams will be over in 12 minutes time. And Alexandre short to Pereira, Ngueba to Arana, Alexandre again to Maya. They can go backwards, forwards, wherever they like, and Edson lobs it over the keeper. It is a brilliant goal for 3-0, and I think we can just stop going overload now. It's absolutely game over at this point, so sorry to my Ivorian friends. This game is done for the day, and Brazil have thrashed us from minute number 4 to the very end, and that is the end of this detour to the World Cup. And Ivory Coast will still be very proud of themselves. They just couldn't get the job done as the tournament got harder and harder. But I'll just say I expected everything. They didn't expect that. They didn't respond well to that. I can't fault the effort, but that didn't go well. See if we can redeem the situation a little bit. Yeah, it looks like we can. But anyway, sorry to everybody. We couldn't go any further than the quarterfinals, but we're expecting probably to go out in the last 16. But that's just the way it goes. We'll see if our group rivals Romania can make the semi-finals. That would be very impressive for the Eastern European nation. But that's pretty much all for the Ivory Coast story. Perhaps until the Africa Cup of Nations. But anyway, that was well played. Brazil were stupendous, and Ivory Coast go out, but they'll be very, very proud to at least gain some massive experience. Sayuba disappointed. They could have done better, but the World Cup went very, very well. We won 4 games out of 5, which is very, very good. I'd say is there what's an approval? FA confidence, job security 76%. So that's great. We'll move it back to where it was. There we go. So that's pretty much the end of this episode. We'll go job searching again. I'm gonna see what the Morelia club have to say to me. Like they will, Morelia. That I really hope their board takeover takes place very soon. They're in the Continental Tournament, which intrigues me even more. So the chairman loves the club. We'll just see. Landmark's new president takes over as the 25th. So I hope my job application is still valid, but to get this job will be crucial as we're in the American Champions League. That's where we want to be. And there's actually a River Plate from Puerto Rico, so that'll be an interesting game. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this period away from club football, and we'll go even harder to try and win another continental tournament, and make sure this isn't a Pentagon challenge that fades into obscurity. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye for now.